welcome to the Screen Podcast. Thanks for joining us for insight and analysis of the global film industry, brought to you by the teams from Screen International and ScreenDaily.com. We have a special episode for you today. Screen's reporter and podcast producer Ellie Calnan is talking to the two amazing actors in Wasteman, David Jonsson and Tom Blyth. This is a cracking prison thriller drama, Bafta-nominated. It's in UK cinemas right now via Lionsgate UK. Ellie talks to David and Tom not just about this film, but how they see the British film landscape evolving and what's happening with their growing, very international careers. So over to you, Ellie.
And thank you so much for coming on the Screen Podcast. And congratulations on Wasteman. I thought it was just phenomenal. I had a lot of anxiety after and didn't sleep very well, but I think that is the sign of good cinema going experience, isn't it?
Yeah, the aim is to traumatize you.
That's right. Yeah.
Outside, that's important. I guess just to start off with, you guys both had like a really successful last few years career-wise, and you both starred in some major franchise entries with The Hunger Games and Alien. Was a project like Wasteman, this small independent British debut, was it something you were actively seeking out?
I don't know about actively seeking, but I do think it's a very welcome addition because, I speak for myself, but I think Tom will probably agree is that as a young actor, you're trying to make a body of work. as awesome as like a franchise like Alien is and like Hunger Games is, you want people to see you in different lights. You want people to see you in different kind of like cars, different kind of vehicles is what I'm looking for. So when something like this comes along, something about the British prison system, the justice system which we all contribute to, it makes you go, oh, hang on, this is not just a great character, but like a bigger vehicle, like a bigger world that is dressed as if it's small. Do you know what I mean? So I think, yeah, for me, I don't think I was actively looking for it, but it was like, yeah, man, this feels like a good thing to do.
Yeah, I suppose I was actively looking for it in the sense that I was just looking for really good scripts and really crunchy characters. And I don't know what that means really until I see it. So yeah, you're not really, you don't know what you're looking for, but you just know you're looking for like really good text, really good dialogue, and like a really crunchy character with edges and something that stretches you. And this had that in spades. Yeah.
And David, I know your relationship with the film kind of goes back a little bit further than that. Could you sort of talk about that journey of coming involved with this film? And I know you sort of became an executive producer and perhaps helped sort of lift things off the ground a bit more.
Yeah, no, look, it's again, it's one of those things where you as a young actor, again, you're starting out and people don't really quite know you. I remember auditioning for this film and everything felt like it was going in the right direction, but then I didn't hear anything. And it turns out the film just fell apart because making movies is very hard. And when at the moment that I guess you gain a bit of traction, you chase those projects. And following this again, Sophia Gibber is our producer, and she's amazing in finding Cal first and foremost and becoming a champion for the script. So us like joining forces and then trying to do our best to kind of reinvent this script so it felt current and felt even better than it was before, was like, my mission. So yeah, I mean that's kind of the journey, like, from then to now, and now having made this film with Tom, who's just bloody amazing and a good mate, it's like we couldn't imagine it any other way. It couldn't have existed then. It needed to exist now.
To be in the end. And I'd love to hear about your experience working with the director that you just mentioned, Cal McMau. Obviously, this is like his debut feature, but he's had a lot of experience with commercials and music videos. I'm curious as to how that kind of all coalesced on set.
I mean, you could feel Cal's kind of experience in the filmmaking process. I think like you could feel that he was used to like pushing boundaries and getting experimental and not afraid to like get in there with his DP and get really stuck in a kind of like grassroots kind of way. And I think that is something he brought with him from his kind of music video and commercial background and where he cut his teeth. And I think it lent itself to this style of filmmaking really well because it was scrappy. It was really scrappy. We were being scrappy. The filmmakers were being scrappy. The crew had to get scrappy at times. And we all kind of chipped in. And that's the beauty of doing like lower budget indie filmmaking, especially when the script is this good, because
Mm.
everyone just like rallies around and makes it happen no matter how they have to. But yeah, we couldn't have done that without Cal kind of setting that tone, I think.
Definitely, yeah.
Because it was quite a short shoot as well, right? And quite a quick build up.
Really short. Yeah, we had, I think it was about 4 weeks in total and 18 days across those 4 weeks. So yeah, which is no time at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's all in one like tiny little pressure cooker of a room, right? It's like a 6x10 cell room, maybe even 6x8. It's tiny. And so that in itself also added to this feeling of pressure cooker and just claustrophobia.
Yeah. Definitely.
Mm. And I'm curious, there was like some footage in the film that like it had been shot on phones, and I know that was a whole thing about, you know, phones getting into prisons and stuff. Did Cal use iPhones to actually film those scenes, or was that sort of camera trickery?
No, zero trickery here, only truth. A little bit of
Like a filmmaking.
Lately trickery.
exactly. I am an actor. And what? No, most of the film, I think it's around 35% to 40% of the film is shot on an iPhone. Again, and that multimedia kind of way of making this film felt, it's not gimmickal. It's exactly right. You know, again, I think Cal was better than I can about this, but part of the inspiration for this film came from people who were incarcerated filming themselves and like to try and get some freedom on the outside. And those videos is kind of what inspired Cal to make this movie, and also inspired us to kind of understand what was happening to them. So it felt only right to have that in the movie, you know what I mean? And yeah, so we'll be doing some of the performances to an iPhone. So, you know, which is like is very, very strange, but again just totally added to the fact that's what else would you do? You know what I mean? It's not like Red One cameras in prison. There's just if you somehow manage to do it, get an iPhone in, that's how it would happen. So yeah, we use a lot of iPhone in this. Yeah.
Yeah, quite an intimate experience as well, I imagine, of filming like that, not having a whole sort of massive camera and things right in your face.
It was cool. It was like a hybrid. It's like
Hybrid.
a hybrid filmmaking experience. And a lot of the footage that like the found footage stuff is obviously it's recreations of actual found footage, but for legal reasons and to protect people's identities and stuff, couldn't put the actual footage in the film.
Right.
It was initially the intention, but then we realized that was kind of like not feasible for a myriad of reasons. But what we did do is then recreate those moments with not even actors, but like people who had previously been in prison who were extras in the film, then became the people who recreated those videos. So there's this kind of an extra layer of authenticity to it, based on these original videos that were like the impetus for the film.
Absolutely. And it sounds like Wasteman was quite an intense experience, obviously, like mentally, but physically, I know, Tom, you gained some weight, David, you lost some weight. How did that kind of experience, has it changed your approach to characters and projects moving forward?
No, not for me. No, I think, you know, you do, there's only two kinds of acting, isn't it? It's like one that's not believable and the other is believable. That's just kind of really how I see it. So inevitably, you kind of know one project is the same. You're just trying to get to what you know is going to sell this. My character in this obviously is struggling with a form of addiction, and in order to kind of sell that and make that feel real, it felt only right to make him to strip him. Try to strip him of a certain type of health that he's been doing because he's been in for a very long time, and I think he's been doing it to himself. I didn't want to fake that for me. So I did that, but no, I mean, for another project, I don't know what I might do. You know, you just do what you feel is right for every single character. Yeah.
Yeah. If anything, I found that it wasn't that this process changed how I want to do things. I was like, finally, I'm able to do the kind of work I want to be doing. I just the only thing I would change is to have a little bit more time for prep. I think like I wouldn't change anything about this film, but going forward in the future, I'd be like, we had 3 weeks to prep. Give me 6 weeks, and I can really see what happens. But you're always kind of experimenting with time as an actor. I think like you never seem to have enough, or if you do have enough, it's filled and taken up in other ways, and you still don't end up having enough time. So like you're always just kind of playing within the boundaries of the sandpit that you've been dealt, or makes a mess. But like you know, playing with the boundaries of the cards that you've been dealt, and and yeah, you're really just trying to push up against those boundaries and see how far you can push yourself to transform in that truthful way. Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's in the spirit of indie filmmaking, you know, when directors have such like limited budgets, it's, you know, you got to get creative somehow.
Yeah, totally.
And Wasteman is obviously such a British film through and through, and you're both British actors, but you've done a lot of work in America as well. How do you kind of balance sort of working over here and working over there? Is it kind of like a conscious balance at all, or?
You know what? I am probably a bit more conscious of it. You know what I mean? I think I'm always going to be a Brit boy, and I love that. I think we've got this tiny island has made so many amazing movies that like really and truly inspire me. I think I've got a lot of my sensibilities from here. You know, so I think working wherever I am, and it's not going to be, you know, if I'm lucky, by the way, it's not just going to be America. Like I want to do some French cinema and like Italian cinema and Scandi cinema, like, you know, whatever that is, I'm up for. But I think I'm always going to come back home and see what you can cook, you know.
Yeah, we're so fortunate, aren't we, that the place we come from and were raised has this incredible film culture, and it, in many ways, is like absolutely on par with the States in terms of what we're putting out. Like London has now surpassed LA in terms of output, in terms of filmmaking. So like a lot of the big stuff kind of originates in the US, but a lot of it is filmed here. So you're kind of lucky that you get to do the big stuff and be in the UK as well. My career kind of started in the US, which was like the reverse of how I thought it was going to go when I was younger. And I've had to like almost break back into the UK a little bit, and like do it in reverse. And so a film like this for me, I was so grateful when it came along because I was craving to come back and do British film because I love it so much and I was raised on it. And I remember like seeing Tyrannosaur for the first time and going like, oh my God, like that, like shoestring budget film made with just like real grassroots filmmaking, and you can make people feel that. And yeah, so to get to come back and kind of do that and break back in has been a real like treat. Yeah.
We can do a lot with very little, can't we? I feel like that's like the pride, my pride of British filmmaking. We do a lot with very little. Not to say we don't want more, like Tom said. We definitely do. We can do anything.
We do a lot with a little.
We don't need more money. It's fine.
We can do a lot no matter what.
And David, you've sort of, through the process of Wasteman, I guess you've gone on to set up this production company with Sophia Gibber, who obviously was lead producer on Wasteman. I'd love to hear a little bit more about how that kind of evolved, and also the relationship with Tricky Knot, who have backed your company. That's quite an interesting relationship.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, first and foremost, it's to kind of make movies like these. You know what I mean? This is we bonded over making this movie and fighting for it to happen. And I think we want to tell stories that don't live in black or white, but they're somewhere in the middle, hence our name, grey area. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the most interesting kind of storytelling. And Tricky Knot are a brilliant company. You know, they're black, they're led by a wonderful woman called Alex Tyne, and their whole thing is about talented companies. I think they're kind of doing something quite special in finding, you know, great actors who are like hopefully have a certain flavor and taste, and like supporting them. So it's not just us, it's like Harris Dickinson and Archie Perch, who are brilliant and they're good mates of ours, and Jeremy Harris and other people like that. So yeah, I mean, the aim is just to make great things and not think too much, but just try and make good things.
Have you got much in the pipeline?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Tom, I'm curious, are you at all inspired to sort of getting into producing a bit more? I think you've done a bit before, have you?
Yeah. I've been doing a fair amount recently. It's it kind of happened organically, just through a TV show I was doing for quite a few years. In the last season, they were kind enough to in name make me a producer because we've been doing so much producing together across 3 seasons of the show, and had been kind of, you know, doing a lot of that creative conversation without the title, and then they kind of gave me a title. And it was a really rewarding experience, and I kind of just learned so much more about filmmaking than I could have if I was only an actor. And then yeah, through that I've kind of started developing some things, and yeah, I don't know if there'll be a company at some point, maybe, but I'm just kind of I'm enjoying letting it happen as it happens. Yeah, and also I feel like I've got so much to keep testing as an actor. I kind of I don't want to spread myself too thin at this stage. But I'm surrounded by amazing people who are doing it really well. So I'm like, you know, I can ride on their coattails for a bit.
I mean, maybe this is a redundant question, but does that mean directing is a little bit too far in the future for you guys? Are you thinking about sort of making your own stuff from that perspective?
Yeah, no, I'm not thinking about directing anytime soon. I think, as Tom says, I've got a lot on my plate. So no,
What's your album coming up?
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. What that album?
Yeah.
Oh, the EP.
Yeah.
The EP first. No. I think you know, listen. I think it's definitely something what one would hopefully look to do at some point when you've got a vision and a story that you feel that you need to tell. But right now, no, I'm having too much fun as an actor, and producing as well. It's great.
Yeah, I want to direct at some point, definitely. But again, I think I'll know when the time is right. I'm not going to try and force it to happen prematurely. Yeah.
And if you're looking for a good producer, you know where to go.
I'm surrounded by people who will do it far better than me. So yeah.
And obviously we're talking now just before the BAFTAs, and David, you previously won the Rising Star Award, and you were also a Screen Rising Star as well. I'm just curious how you kind of see like growing up in this generation of actors, and there was a lot of stuff in the film about social media and things, and you're both on social media. How do you kind of see like some of the pressures kind of facing young actors today?
I think you know what I think that's actually a really cool question to ask me, because I think that is very I've romanticized some actors that I knew growing up and was like, oh, that's what it's going to be if you're able to get there. You know what I mean? I think about like that age of like Tom Hardy and Cillian Murphy and all the people that kind of around them who I thought was just absolutely killer and great, but their pressure is entirely different to the ones that we experience now. I do believe that. I don't think it's just social media. I think the job of an actor now is like slightly different. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I do feel a different kind of pressure. And Tom and I obviously are not just colleagues, but we're really good mates. And this is the stuff that we talk about. We're like, how do we make the best things? How do we fulfill our dream? Because by the way, this is our bloody dream. Like, we're living it now, while trying to, keep sane and do and yeah, and follow where it is. It's a tricky question. I'm not sure I've got the answers yet. Which is why I'm always a bit disconcerted when I get asked for advice. I do my best. I do my best to give some advice, but I don't feel good enough to do that just yet. Maybe they were saying the same thing. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe at the time, maybe they were saying the same thing. But right now, I feel like it's like new territory for young actors.
I mean, Tom Hardy's on Instagram. He's always posting his jiu-jitsu stuff. So.
He is.
You can have both.
It turns out, yeah.
When you think of him, you just don't think of him as being chronically online. So I think, I don't know. Yeah, it's just scary world. It's just scary world out there. I think we're all just trying to figure out how to do it in a healthy, productive way and not get lost in it, I think. Yeah.
Do you guys worry about things like AI? I know that's a real buzzword at the moment, but is that something that sort of percolates on your mind a bit?
I don't worry about it from a job perspective. Because I truly believe that, that feeling when we watch an AI video and we have that uncanny discomfort that I think we all feel, like anyone I speak to feels that uncanny, like, oh yeah, it's like, it's crazy how good it is, but it doesn't feel human. Like, it still doesn't feel human. I don't think it ever will. I don't think it ever will get to a point where we watch it and go, I really feel the humanity in that, because I think it's impossible. It's by nature derivative. Like, the very nature of it is that it's stealing from humanity and recreating it in an artificial form. So like, I don't worry about it like replacing what we love, because I think if there are people like us who are seeking it, there'll be people like you who are seeking it. There will always be people who are seeking like human art. I worry about like all of our general psyche. I think it's like it's really starting to pull at the threads of what is true and what's not. And I do worry about that. I worry about it every day. I genuinely I think we're starting to like undo our mental well-being and our understanding of what is truth, which I think is dangerous. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely well said. Well, on a happier note, obviously Wasteman is a British debut film, really phenomenal. It's been nominated for a BAFTA. What do you think it says about the overall health of British film industry right now?
I think I've been saying this, but it's only because I think it's true. I don't think it says anything. I think it asks a question about how we help people, about our you know, I think it opens a light to our justice system, which I'm always saying we're all contributing to, um, through taxes, through people we know who are either inside or not, or even people that, you know, God forbid, have experienced crimes or been, you know, whichever side. I think that this film encapsulates those experiences. So I think it just sheds a bit of a light on it, and I think it's provocative. I think it's provocative without telling anyone what no statements, not or what to think. I think it's food for thought. At least that's how it feels to me.
Yeah, and I think like just to add to that, this, you know, the health of British film or the state of British film, I think this year as well as many as this year as well as any other proves that like British film is doing really well. I mean, like this, My Father's Shadow, Pillion, like all the films that we're in the same category with at BAFTA, these debut films, they're so good. They're like all saying something completely different, all shining a light on a little pocket of community and society that we haven't seen too many films about before, and all like really authentic and honest. And I mean, I don't know, just excited to be celebrating and part of that. Yeah.
I think that's a lovely note to end on. Not doom and gloom. Well, thank you.
Chat to AI.
Yeah. Ask us one more on AI. Go on then.
Thank you so much for your time. It's been lovely to chat to you, and congratulations again on this film. And you know, I've been speaking to a lot of non-film friends about it, and they're all really excited about it, which always makes me feel like, okay, this is a real thing. This is like there's something good here. It's not just, you know, me and my film industry brain. So yeah, I'm excited to see for it to get out into the world. But yeah, thank you again for your time.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Ellie.
You're a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks to Ellie, and of course to Tom and David for their time. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope you'll rate us and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Big thanks to the whole Screen team who makes this possible. Ellie, not just the interviewer this time, she's also editing and producing this podcast. And of course, our web editor, Orlando Parfit. We do hope you'll join us again and come back for more insight and analysis of the global film industry.